morning. I'm Mary Winters. I am your host. I'm a gerontologist and the owner of About Senior Solutions, and you're watching Visionary Aging. Why do we say visionary aging? Well, we want to see you age at your optimum at any age. And we put our little, this is my little magic wheel here. This is the way we plan. We look at what your wishes are, how we keep you safe, and what are your finances that you have to work with so that we can put this fantastic plan together for you. So today we have a really neat show. Of course, we're going to celebrate somebody's 100th birthday. He is a Navy veteran from North Carolina. And we also have Stephen McCullough. He'll ask a caregiver question. And then, have you ever heard of contingency law? Or I'm sure you've heard of trial lawyers, you've heard of deputy DAs, you've heard of prosecutors. We have a really fantastic attorney who's on with us today. His name is John Belcher, and we're going to talk a little bit about what all that means, what that means to you, especially in regards to elder abuse, because we want to protect our seniors. So he is here to make sure they are safe and we take care of them. I will first go over and talk with you about Mr. Andy. We have a wonderful man here who has turned 100. So let me go ahead and we'll acknowledge him. Well, it looks like my pictures did not load. Let me see if I can even get one little thing on him really quickly. But Mr. Tom, let's see, his first name is Andy. And let me see if we can get some of this moving around here. He is Andy Tomshow, and he is a Navy veteran. Let's see if I could get one of his pictures because he's just amazing. He looks like he's about 80 years old, and he is actually 100. So let me see if we can get another photo of him here and get it loaded up quickly with his family because I think this is really sweet. Here we go. Hide that, and there he is, and here he is with his family.
Good morning. You see me?
I see you.
There you are.
You see me?
I'm on the other side of you.
Yeah, we flipped today, huh? I got
How are you?
first. I'm great. How are you? What is your first question today?
I do have a very good question.
Okay.
It's not for me, but it could be for me. So my parents' diet is not the best.
Okay.
So the question is, how do we monitor and control our parents' diet as far as nutritional value?
You know, it's a tough one. There are programs through the cities, and they will deliver food called Meals on Wheels. So that is a nutritionally balanced meal. Whether it's the best food or not is, remains to be seen. It depends on your particular interest in food. But there are also some great chefs who you can have deliver meals to you, and you can put those in the freezer or stick those in the refrigerator. You can go by and check in on your parents and see what their refrigerator looks like to see kind of what you might be concerned about. I see oftentimes somebody maybe they're obviously becoming more frail, but they become dehydrated, or we have some episodes with their personality becoming a little strange, and that may have resulted in some dehydration, which results in a urinary tract infection oftentimes. So those can be triggers that they do have poor nutrition. Get their teeth checked too, it's also a sign. But as far as getting the right food to them, we have grocery stores that will deliver food. We have organizations that will send food to the house. I think the other thing is, can they prepare it? Because the other thing that I see with someone with dementia in particular, I call it one-step food. It just has to open, and that's all they can do to prepare to eat it. They can't make a sandwich. They're not able to put multiple steps together to put food together to cook. So that can be challenging, and it's very possible you need a caregiver or somebody who will sit with your parent while they're having a meal so that you are certain that they're eating up to a certain amount. So it's a great question, and it can be very broad as far as somebody's ability to prepare and eat food. So it's a great question, though. It's a great question.
Right. Yeah, lots of variables.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a really great guest with us today. I think you met him a little bit earlier, John Belcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you
very
know,
impressive.
Yeah, you know what contingency law is. I don't think everybody does, but I think
anybody who helps protect our seniors are good people.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, so I think we'll go ahead and just let John come on. And you know what? I should bring him on. I'm going to put his picture up. And we'll talk a little bit about him. I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. Have a good show.
Thanks. Yeah, so John, he has a great background. He comes from the DA's office, where he did do prosecution. I know he was a trial attorney there too. So let me go ahead and pull up some information on John. He attended Cal Berkeley, and he was the recipient of many awards. He attended Bolt Hall, where he was selected to serve as an extern clerk to the Honorable Cecil Poole of the United States Court of Appeal for the 9th District. We're very lucky that actually happens to be in Pasadena. While enrolled at Bolt, Mr. Belcher served under Stanley Sporkin in the SEC Division of Enforcement Summer Honors Program as a charter selectee. Following graduation from Bolt, he was employed as a deputy district attorney by the Contra Costa County DA's office, and he was appointed to the felony trial team in Martinez, California, where he served with distinction prosecuting complex felony jury trials, including 3 double jury trial days with jury trials proceeding back to back. That is crazy stuff. I know he has been a litigator and been in his own business for over 35 years. And I think this background really gives him an incredible amount of experience and wisdom in how to protect our seniors. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on with us, and we'll meet face to face. We'll talk face to face. Let's see. I don't see him here though. Here he is. Okay. There we go. And we'll take his picture down. There we go. Hey, John. How are you? Let's see. I'll get your unmute. Yeah. So your background really, really helps to drive that experience you have now. Well, 35 years. That's quite a bit of experience as a trial lawyer.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a different mindset on the plaintiff's side, and this is actually, I just had my 40th reunion at Berkeley Law. And one of the things I tell young people when I go to the outreach programs to meet the people that are admitting students is, you know, don't give up your dream. Maybe you don't want to represent big corporate. You know, maybe you don't want to be an immigration lawyer. Maybe your dream is to give back, and maybe you want to work at nonprofits or whatever. And don't sell it out quick, right? Just because the job offers are there. You know, really have a vision of whether you want to be a good guy. And one of the privileges that I've had is, you know, I've known a lot of attorneys that do hourly billing, and they work, you know, for big corporate, and sometimes they're really not happy. I mean, you know, the fact that they're helping, you know, Teledyne make another couple of bucks doesn't really, you know, work with their soul. And 20 years ago, I went to pure performance law, and you called it contingency work, but basically what that means is you get paid at the end of the case, and you've met with the client, you're partnering with the client, and the object of the exercise is you're trying to work together. You have a lot of communication. They're not paying you by the minute. And the person that you're representing at some level is the victim, that they haven't been paid, that the insurance company isn't paying them, and you're out there to collect money. And one of the things that I'm fortunate to have is a background where I've litigated simultaneously against Unical and British Petroleum in a jury trial. My last trial had over 7,000 documents and 300 exhibits against a $1 billion entity that we defeated. And sometimes, you know, lawyers aren't comfortable in federal court or with complex cases, and I am. And how this manifests itself in elder law and in probate law is that, to be rather blunt about it, ripping off elders is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the United States of America. And there are a couple of reasons for that.
Yeah.
The first is that we have a growing number of people that are 190, and just the level of wealth they have is very high, and sometimes the capacity isn't there.
Right.
So the question is, well, what's a contingency attorney, and how, in a real life example, would use of a contingency attorney be helpful? And I have like 3 specific examples. Is that okay if I roll through, Mary?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, one client I have was a school bus driver, and she had a best friend, and the best friend had a dysfunctional relationship with her daughter, who really was just waiting for her to die, really wanted the money, and she didn't want her to get the money, so she gave large gifts to my client, which actually my client didn't get. Her daughter had gone through a divorce, needed some money to save her vineyard. And so she gave a $200,000 gift to my client. Now my client at the time is 89 years old, and she's living on a pension as a school bus driver. Then in the estate, Alice, her friend, left her money. So lo and behold, when the daughter finds out about the death of her mother, she comes in and starts threatening and bullying this woman, and she hires an attorney hourly, and you know, she's on a pension, and she's like almost out of funds, and she puts her hands up and says, okay, I quit. Okay, you can have everything. I don't want any money, please. And they're like, no, actually, you have to pay back the $200,000. And if you don't pay back the $200,000, we're going to sue you. And she's like, I don't have the $200,000. And they did. They sued her. So, and this is after she had given everything up. Well, she came to me, and lo and behold, there was nothing wrong with her gifting money to my client. There was nothing wrong with her having an estate, and I took it on contingency. And the problem was she didn't have the staying power to fight the people that were trying to rip her off. And in fact, we not only won, but we're going to be handing a very large check as the estate gets settled to my client. And here's part of the problem. Part of the problem is a lot of our seniors are budgeting, and they have this amount of hourly, this amount of monthly funds and hourly billing can just, even if it's at a relatively minor rate, can really get out of hand. So,
oh yeah, no. Well, some people can't even write that first check. I mean,
right.
they've been completely ripped off, or they have no access to something because they no longer have control, since we've taken the control away from them and they're abusing those funds. So
Right.
the
And
flexibility is great.
yeah, absolutely. And then, and another example I have is that we do investigation, right? I mean, part of our job is to do due diligence, because we don't want to be stupid. If you don't have a case, we're not going to take it, and that's what I tell people. You don't have to trust us; it's our money too, right?
Right.
And if we take a case, it's because we think the bad guys are good for it, and we can go and collect the money, right? And we've had a number of instances where people have, brought situations to us where, for various reasons, there's a group of advisors for the elder that aren't necessarily on top of it. And there's a very specific case arising out of San Marino where this couple had an apartment building in Arizona. It was throwing off a lot of money. They were paying a big deal firm to manage it. Well, what happened was one of their own employees was big in the Boy Scouts, and he had a bank account down in San Diego called BSA Advisors, Boy Scout of America Advisors.
Right.
Well, what he did was every month he wrote a check to BSA Advisors out of the accounts, and the bosses never figured this out, right? And they didn't necessarily want to blow the whistle on their own guy. So, they come to me and they're like, John, what's going on here? Like, I think I'm getting ripped off. And lo and behold, you go back and you start looking for all of the checks to BSA Advisors. They don't make any sense. And we had a huge recovery for the senior. But sometimes, the managers or the handlers want to let sleeping dogs lie. They're embarrassed that their own person has ripped them off. And people are like, I think there's a problem here. And then it's like, oh, no, forget it. Oh, you don't really need to worry about it. And a third example, I had a guy who is very successful. He's an insurance adjuster. And basically, his accountant stole money. I mean, like a lot of money, and had a gambling problem, and the money really wasn't recoverable. And we're at lunch, and I'm like, wow, I mean, this is really going to affect your retirement. And he's like, well, yeah, but I talked to the DA. I have a restitution order. We're never going to see the money I get. I said, well, who's your accountant? He's like, well, so and so. I'm like, well, weren't there some red flags there? And we wound up getting all of the money back from the accountant because the accountant wasn't really monitoring. And all three of those were cases where it really needed some vetting. It needed somebody to kick the tires, and somebody that was willing to go to bat, for the elders. And then finally, another thing I do, and this isn't necessarily, for cases, but the number one privilege I have in practicing law for 40 years is I've never worked with anyone where I wasn't 100% convinced of the justice of what it was they were trying to do. I represent the people. They're trying to get the money out of the insurance carrier, as opposed to the lawyers that don't want the widow to have the money because one of the premium checks was $5 short, right? But some interesting cases I've had are where you have a sophisticated group of estate planners, and estate planners are great at what they do. They make sure that the paperwork is unambiguous. They make sure that the tax implications are appropriately dealt with. But I've had a couple of really interesting cases where elders have come to me and they said, John, we have some really good estate planners. They're not litigators, but we're going to get into a fight. I just know that Susie's going to be coming after this because she's not really getting enough.
Right.
And I'd like a litigator lined up, and I'd like you to look at this. And, what would you want me to do while I'm still alive
Oh,
to
wow.
protect my estate?
Right.
And the way that litigators look at the record and the way estate planners look at the record, the estate planners are getting, paid a fee. Okay, yeah, oh, we witnessed it. Great. Okay, we signed it. Yeah. Thank you very much for the money. Bye. Loved having you in there. But in fact, I've had some instances in which I know exactly what's coming and they know what's coming. And we've brought videographers in. Hi, Bob. Who won the Dodger game last night? What was the score? Who was the starting pitcher? Oh, cool. What are you doing this weekend? And you then have a video, right? And they're going to say, oh, Bob was on planet Zero. He didn't know where he was. Right. But we line up, really, what's going on. And we've even had instances where we've done investigation where we've been able to verify that that Bob's getting ripped off by this particular person. And had sidebars where they're like, yes, I'm angry. I'm angry at Susie. And here's why. We had a joint account and she wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a great privilege, Mary, to work with someone like you because, this is a really growing area of need. Senior care, it's a vulnerable population. And frankly, it's a privilege to go out there and protect seniors. And unfortunately, to be rather blunt about it, all the rights that seniors have, the rights the senior have are the rights they have that somebody enforces and that somebody is willing to step up for them and go into court against the greedy people or the bad guys. And so the truth of the matter is that getting seniors who've had money taken away from them or have been ripped off, it's only a fraction of the cases that actually get prosecuted. And there are really not enough of us. They're really willing to step up and fight some of these big opponents. But the great privilege that I have is that I have a great feeling about what I do, and how I go about it. And I, at a certain level, I feel sorry. And again, I know some wonderful attorneys, ethical and smart, but that whole hourly billing thing, it's really not for me because you're not a partner with the client. It's your financial incentive to keep the ball rolling, keep the fights going, and run it up. And the basic problem is, even people who think they're rich, wait till you've been in litigation for 3 or 4 years and seen, what.
I've seen those fees. Honestly, it's terrible. And I'm just glad that they have people like you who will take cases and not worry about what the check that they have to write right away. And some of these cases would not be resolved, absolutely would not be resolved if you didn't have someone who would litigate them in the way you do. So John, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, I'm pretty easy to find because my name is John Belcher with an H. And if you go to www.johnbelcher.com, you're going to find me. I'm in Pasadena. If you Google me, you're going to find me. But I have the easiest email to remember ever. It's J, one letter, J for John, at earthlink.net. There's a guy by the name of Sky Dayton, and he founded Earthlink. And the reason he founded it here in Pasadena was all the NASA space jocks we're here in Pasadena. And I used to play Frisbee golf with the NASA guys. And I was having a Heineken with Sky Dayton at the headquarters of Earthlink. And they're like, oh, yeah, John, you need email. I'm like, what's email? They're like, oh, well, you electronically on your computer get messages. And I said, okay. And then you need an address, something at earthlink.net. And I said, cow. And Sky Dayton said, cow, John, you really don't want that. I mean, that's going to be a brand. And I said, well, how about J for John? Is that gone yet? He's like, no. So
that's incredible.
I had email when I could email like 3 people, all of whom work for JPL now.
That's great. I remember somebody even talking about the World Wide Web. And what is that? So I know.
AOL and dial-up, right?
I know. You can hear it dialing. So John, thank you so much. You can reach him at j@earthlink.com. So that's great. And
or 626-577-5771. 626-577-5771. Mary, you do such a wonderful job for your seniors. I randomly met somebody on a beach in Wailea that was raving about you. That didn't even know I knew you.
That's amazing. Isn't it interesting how the world connects too? So thank you for your kind words, and thank you for what you do for seniors. I really appreciate it. And if you need that help, you can call our office, or you can call John directly. So thanks a lot, John. Have a great one.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Now let's go ahead and we're going to bring Steve back on, and let's see what his thoughts are. See, now you're on the right side again.
You tricked me.
So
great show.
It's great to know that you have attorneys who can work in that manner and protect our seniors.
You don't hear a lot of attorneys say that about partnering, and so it's very good, comforting.
Not at all. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I went to Death Valley and Mount Whitney last weekend. So I went to the highest point in North America and the lowest point in North America.
And the lowest point.
In the same weekend. I didn't go all the way to the top. We just went a couple miles up Mount Whitney.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I understand that Death Valley has the lowest golf course in,
Yeah, we were driving by that and it said golf course, and like, where is the golf course? And you have to be golfing on dirt, I'm sure. I don't think anything grows there.
Yeah, on very restricted hours too, I would think. You're not golfing, you won't be golfing in August at 12 noon.
Exactly.
That's my guess.
Exactly. So you have a great weekend. We have a special Memorial Day weekend coming up here. So any plans for you?
We're actually in trial prep, so probably going to be working a little bit this weekend.
I think I am too, actually. So enjoy the longer weekend, though. And
you too. There's a comment. Julie Fisher posted a comment. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah. What did she say?
Julie says, protecting seniors is important. I appreciate this. I appreciate where I work because of this. Nice to hear him talk from a place of caring for seniors. So, Julie, thank you for your comment.
Yeah, she's out in the Riverside area. She works with Esther Wang, who does estate planning, works with a lot of veterans too. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Julie, for mentioning that. I really appreciate it. So you all have a fabulous weekend. Stephen, you have
do the same
weekend, and I'm going to go.
Thank you for all our veterans.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much, all of you. Whether you're in service now or you're a veteran, thank you so much for what you've done for us and for our country. Yeah. We appreciate you. And I have this fun little commercial. It's like just a little 10-second thing. So I'm going to play that because I think it makes me laugh. And then we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up the show.
Sounds good.